Welcome to the Off Leash Podcast with Dr. Pete. I am your co-host, Molly Van Brinken, and we are so glad that you joined us for today's show. Remember, we are never here to say what you want us to say. We are just here to be an advocate for you and your pet.
There we are.
Amen. So, today is a cold winter day in Southwest Michigan, and Pete is on his day off.
I am.
Enjoying writing checks and doing adult things.
Yeah, sort of adult things, yeah.
Sort of adult things.
I don't do an awful lot of adult things because I'm not really sure that even at this age I'm an adult, but anyway.
You're like Peter Pan.
Well, it's like, yes.
You never grew up.
My wife's like, how childish can you be about stuff?
Very.
Yeah, challenge me, man. I can do it. I've got it in me.
So you're not very adult-like. You know what's not very adult? Is TikTok. I feel like I'm on the TikTok train. Are you on the TikTok train?
Nope.
Not at all?
No, and I know what you're talking about. You're seeing all these animal videos, right?
Yeah, well, that's what's been coming up lately on my TikTok is like a lot of health videos. So TikTok, do you know how an algorithm works, first of all?
Yeah, kind of.
So it kind of picks like if you were on TikTok, it'd say, okay, this dude really likes Spartans football and Spartans basketball and
they send that.
old cars.
They start loading you up on that stuff.
Yeah, they start loading you up on that stuff. And so lately I've been doing a lot of research on like what to get my dog for her hips and everything. And it's just been in my search bar. So now all of a sudden all these videos keep coming up. Yep, I know. You gave me those chews.
The green lip muscle. That's actually a pretty good thing for, that's the same thing that John, what's his handle, advertises on TV for people.
Really?
Yeah. What's his name? The guy that did America's Most Wanted.
Oh, I don't know.
John.
Regardless.
Yeah. But anyway, we think green lip muscle works pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things and there's some other things that work pretty good. We'll talk about it later in the thing here. But.
So basically I was going to send you some TikToks the other day to be like, is this true? Is this not true? And I thought, what better way? You don't have a TikTok. So what better way to do it than to play it here on the podcast?
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me to pause the video if you have something that you disagree with.
Well, let me bracket this up for you. One time I had a policeman in the office with his dog and stuff. We were talking about his dog and he asked me, he looks at me and he says, do you watch Animal Planet? And I'm like, after a day of this, 9 hours of this, no, I go home and watch other stuff. I said, you never guess what I watch. I said, I'm guessing you watch Animal Planet. You like Animal Planet. You want to know what I think of Animal Planet. And I said, well, you're the policeman. I actually go home and watch Law and Order. So you go home and watch
Animal Planet.
Animal Planet, and I go home and watch Law and Order. And I really don't know anything more about law enforcement than what I've learned on Law and Order, which I think is probably somewhat accurate. They always have a smart ass on that show. I would have qualified to be that, from the verbal sense.
Yes.
And then this guy goes home and watches Animal Planet. So he watches things about dog rescues, and I watch about catching rapists and convicting them and stuff. So we have a different taste in viewing after hours.
That's fair.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I still go home and I watch videos about my dog.
Sure.
And whatever else TikTok throws at me.
So that gets you loaded up with these things.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I want you to hear them and go through them. And like I said, if you need me to pause it at some point, just say pause and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
5 foods that help dogs live to 20 from a vet who's spent 30 years keeping them alive longer than anyone thought possible. Raw honey, 1 TSP, 2x a week. This isn't just a treat. It strengthens the immune system, heals the gut, and calms silent inflammation that steals years off their life. Frozen blueberries.
Pause. So the honey can be a good thing. That can help you with allergies and a few things like that. But the important thing is that you get honey that doesn't have water added to it. And it needs to be honey that was harvested in your community. Because in your community, it may help you with the allergies that are in your community, because if we have an inordinate amount of goldenrod or ragweed or some weird weed. But if you're going to get honey out of Texas, I'm not sure it's going to help you that much, because they have different stuff down there.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep.
Tiny bombs of antioxidants that protect their brain, eyesight, and slow down aging better than any overpriced supplement. Boiled sweet potato.
Blueberries?
Blueberries are fine. You know, they put them in dog foods, and you see it, and it's like almost the last thing in there. So in a 40-pound bag of dog food, or even a 23-pound bag of dog food, there's one blueberry. And so now they can say
it makes the person feel good.
No, it makes them feel better, and all the endorphins are released, and they're all giggly and stuff. But the truth of the matter is, if you want blueberries to be fed to your dog,
put them in your food.
Go buy them and feed them to them. And probably not put them in yogurt, because we have a lot of dogs that don't tolerate milk products very well.
That's
but
fair.
If you want to give them blueberries, give them blueberries. I haven't got a problem with that.
Okay.
They're expensive. Go ahead. But they're expensive, and I think they do help. I think they are an antioxidant. I wouldn't argue with any of what he said, but he doesn't really go on to say, you know, if you have a 20-pound dog, this is how many you feed him, or this is for a 30-pound dog. This is all reasonably vague. So I'm always kind of critical of somebody who says,
it'll keep them alive till they're 20.
Yeah, no, I doubt that. I mean, there's so much other crap in dog food, as we already know.
Right.
We're in the business of keeping crap out of dog food, and you can't put blueberries in to negate the effect of the crap they're putting in some of the food. So, AKA copper sulfate, proteinaceous copper, stuff like that. I'm going to do anything for that. Go ahead, keep going.
Boiled sweet potato, clean fuel that supports digestion, keeps energy stable, and feeds the gut the right way without the crashes.
I couldn't tell you. We are a little bit worried about dog foods that don't have any grains in them.
Well, they're talking about just straight sweet potato.
Well, I know they're talking about straight sweet potato, but if you got them on a grain-free and you got them on sweet potato to go with it, it's probably inappropriate. We try to avoid grain-free stuff. We don't think it's and people are feeling it because people have celiac disease, and so we figure, well, if we got celiac disease, probably the dog has celiac disease. We don't recognize that really in dogs at all. We do recognize adverse food reactions, and there's no question that occurs.
Right.
But the potato thing, and sweet potatoes are probably different than real potatoes. I have never done a lot of research on those because we don't really include potatoes in any of our, they're starchy, and that's fine, I guess. Sweet potatoes helpful for dogs. I think that's kind of in play. Maybe there's certainly not an awful lot of scientific evidence to prove that, and that's really what we ought to talk about before we go back to this guy and say, really, if there's a peer-reviewed article that talks about feeding sweet potatoes to dogs and it's damn good for them, then read the peer-reviewed article. The problem is nobody owns the patent for sweet potatoes, so nobody's going to spend a lot of money to do any
research.
Any research, yeah, it's just throw them in and see what the hell happens. So I guess he can throw them in and see what the hell happens.
Ready?
Yep.
Fresh parsley daily detox in a leaf. It flushes the kidneys, balances the system, and keeps everything running clean and smooth.
Sounds like an oil in a car, but parsley's not a bad idea. It's got a lot of chlorophyll and stuff in it. I haven't got any problem with parsley. He didn't tell you how much to feed though.
No.
Just is it 2 sprigs per 25 pounds? Well, I mean, what is it? You got to be a little more explicit about this. And he's not telling you because he doesn't know, because there isn't really any evidence to say what you should do here.
Right.
Yeah. And his stuff is okay up till now. Let's see what else he's got.
Collagen. This is where most people fail. Dogs lose collagen fast as they age, and that's when their joints stiffen, skin dries out, and energy fades. Adding it daily keeps them strong, smooth, and pain-free as they get older. Use Daily Collagen.
Nothing keeps
100% natural.
Anybody my age will know that nothing keeps you pain-free as you get older. Absolutely nothing. Unless you spent your entire life from the time you were a year of age on a waterbed and never got off the damn thing, you're going to have arthritis. So is collagen going to help? I don't know. I think this is a reach on this one. Yep.
Mixes into food and actually works. It's the one I trust most. You'll find it on Amazon, or I left you the exact one in my bio.
Oh, it's a sale. He said this is the collagen you should buy right here.
Yep.
Well,
it didn't say whose blueberries we should buy, but
just whose collagen.
Whose collagen we should feed. Okay.
You ready for the next one?
Yep.
Body. Our second herb, oat straw. This is what's going to calm. So I went to school for 3 years to study clinical herbalism, and I use a lot of herbalism on humans through my company, Organic Olivia. But my favorite way to use herbs these days is for my dog, who has allergies and digestive issues and a nervous system that is just as overstimulated as mine, because they say our dogs are a reflection, right? I have found this amazing, simple combination of herbs that I was taught to use on stressed humans that I put in my dog's food every day that has helped him so much, and I want to share it with you because it's so easy. So this is the infusion that I set on the counter last night. I'm going to be putting it in his food today. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how to make a fresh batch so that you know how this is done. We're using just 2 herbs, nettle leaf, and oat straw, and hot water. That is it. I have water boiling in my kettle right now. You just fill it halfway.
So it's like a tea.
Yeah, and I can't imagine oat straw having much in the way of anything real beneficial. It's what they used to, when they combine oats,
yeah,
they take the oat straw and then use it to make bales of straw so that people can bed down their animals,
Oh, so that's what that is?
Well, it's oat straw, yeah, and oat straw's been fairly popular because it has a really kind of a bright color. It's a little different than wheat straw. Wheat straw is a little smaller, but oat straw is, kind of this flat thing on it and everything. So I don't understand the benefit of oat straw, but let her go on.
Okay.
Big mason jar halfway with equal parts of each of these herbs. Our first herb, nettle, is highly anti-allergic, so great for dogs with hot spots, allergies. A lot of Labradors and Pit Bulls are really prone to that. But allergies can come up as different symptoms as well, like constant ear shaking. Even a sensitive gut can be due to histamine and allergies, and nettle is an amazing natural antihistamine for dogs.
Stop there. Histamine. She's using the term histamine. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a type 1 allergic reaction. That's what we give sometimes if we're going to give a dog 2 or 3 different vaccines at the same time. We don't want them to have a reaction, so we'll give them Benadryl before we do it. Antihistamine, and then you give the antihistamine, the injection, when you give the dogs DHLPP and
you just did it with my dog the other day.
And maybe Lyme, okay? So then you got 2 Bactrins in there. Your dog could react to that. We don't give it to every dog, but little dogs. I think we've talked about this before. With us, it's little dogs, anything under 20 pounds, a little white dog like a Maltese, any small dog that's got their face pushed in, and any dachshund. I don't care if the dachshund's 75 pounds. We give it Benadryl before we do stuff. And any dog any dog now maybe is under 10 pounds, or dogs with their nose pushed in, smaller dogs, 20 pounds and less. Anyway, so she's talking about histamine. Well, if you have an allergic reaction to a vaccine, that is in fact histamine. If your dog gets stung by a bee, that is a histamine, and it causes the release of inflammatory proteins when they have that. But the thing that happens with dogs with food allergies, hot spots, ear infections. By the way, a hot spot is just an ear infection. It's not in the ear. It's a displaced one. Somebody that's living out of the house now.
Yeah.
And the GI stuff and the food allergies go kind of hand in hand. But those are cytokine. Those are type 4 allergic reactions. They involve an inflammatory protein called cytokine. So she's probably thinks she's doing a good job here, but from the technical standpoint with us, maybe this herb she's going to use slows down cytokines. But the truth of the matter is, what really slows down cytokines is when you don't feed them beef, milk, and wheat. Those 3 things. And people say chicken too. I think chicken's a player, but I don't think it's a big player.
Yeah,
so much
things that cause the allergies.
Yeah, and I would tell you this: if I had 1,000 dogs with an ear infection, if I had 1,000 dogs on beef and 1,000 dogs on chicken, the beef dogs would have more ear infections, hot spots, and the GI stuff is like, I don't know if you remember, we were at that one show the one time, and the woman who was in the booth next to us says, well, I was going to get my dog's anal glands out, and I finally figured out it was a food allergy, and that's why the dog was dragging his rear end around. And we always talk about that, ears and rears, food allergies, ears and rears, food allergies. I say getting rid of the food that's causing the allergies is better than trying to use an herb to do it.
Right.
Because I think you really need to use real drugs for real stuff. We used to talk about that with antibiotics, real drugs for real bugs. But you need to use something. Maybe this herb helps, but there again, it's kind of a, vague thing here.
It is.
Yeah, let's go on with her.
It's also very detoxifying. It's high in minerals. It nourishes them. It's just like the builder for the body. Our second herb, oat straw, this is what's going to calm them down. If you have a dog that's always a little bit anxious, that is just jumping at every noise, hypersensitive to their environment and can't always self-soothe and regulate and just needs a chill pill, oat straw. This is extremely calming very safe, nutritive plant medicine. It's calming through nutrition, not through harsh sedative plant chemicals. There's a lot of calcium, magnesium, stuff that's really good for their teeth and their bones. So you're gonna take boiling water from a kettle, and you're just gonna pour over those herbs all the way to the top.
It sounds like we're in a saloon.
Use an oven mitt when you're closing it because it's gonna be hot.
Look at all the foam.
Give it a little shake and just set it on the counter overnight. That's all you need to do, set it and forget it. Then the next morning, when their food is ready, you're gonna take that overnight infusion from the night before, and you're just gonna pour it over their food.
Oh, she's throwing it through a strainer.
I do about half for breakfast. There's a lot of plant matter in there, so that's half. And then half at dinner. That is what herbalism is for. So I went to school for 3 years.
Well, here's the deal. If you have a holistic veterinarian, and they see dogs all the time, so you'd have to actually defer to one of them to say yay or nay on almost anything. So I had one of my classmates that was like this. He was in Pennsylvania, and I'd see him every year at that meeting down in Columbus, the Midwest Veterinary Conference. And we talk about stuff like this a little bit. And then and he kind of told me what he called bullshit on and what he didn't, and listen, he graduated, licensed, knows what he's doing. So I would take his advice on some of these things, the herbalistic things, but I don't know. There's no scientific evidence behind what she's saying, and that's and I don't have anything against her. I just have
Maybe there's scientific evidence with people.
Well, nobody owns parsley. Nobody owns oat straw. Well, you own oat straw if you're
a farmer.
If you're a farmer, you own some oat straw. But I've never really. That's the first time I've ever heard of any real benefit from oat straw. She may be right, but in a betting world, if this was Las Vegas, I'd take me over her. But and it's not a histamine. Almost never a histamine. Almost always a cytokine.
Okay.
A different kind of an allergic response. And you know how the thing with bee stings happen. I mean, they swell up.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah. Well, type 4s with cytokines, it's so like poison ivy. You get into poison ivy, you don't break out right away. 2 days down the road, you're a mess, but not today.
Right.
So it's a different deal. So I'd argue with her a little about some of the stuff she's doing, but and I don't know. I'm afraid if I took that stuff and poured it in our dog's food, I'd end up with a steak knife in my chest at night while I'm sleeping. Come in there.
Pissed off.
Nobody does that to our dog food. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this next guy.
As long as they left the wife alive, they'd eat the next day.
Oh my God. Okay, so this next one is actually veterinary medicine.
Okay.
The guy. So I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, because he's got the degree.
Yeah. And
it doesn't
he's
mean
talking
he's
about
right about it.
senior dog health.
Yeah.
Ready?
5 nutrients in your kitchen that can help common senior dog health problems. Coconut oil. It's great topically for dogs that have gingivitis and dental disease. Apply it topically in your dog's teeth and gums. You can also give it orally to your dog with cognitive dysfunction, the aging brain. It's a source of MCT oil, can improve brain function.
MCT's medium chain triglycerides.
Okay.
So yes, I say what he said right there works. We're working on a senior diet right now, and it's going to incorporate coconut oil. So I would believe everything he said there.
Okay.
And somebody did the research on that. So there's peer review material on that. In fact, have you ever seen some of these ads for Bright Minds from Purina?
Yes.
Yeah. Medium chain triglycerides.
Yep.
Or medium chain, I think this was coconut oil. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's coconut oil. Yes, I would say that's true.
This next one's omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3 fatty acids found in olive oil can really help on arthritic dogs. 1 teaspoon per 20 pounds daily. Your aging dog with cataracts. The 2 most important nutrients.
Now we'll go back to this medium chain. Omega-3s are nature's steroid. they interrupt what's called the arachidonic acid cascade. So they work at that level. And really, for that matter, good for allergies, good for arthritis. If you had a dog really stoved up, are you going to make them better with this? Probably not. But you might help some.
Right.
So then you have to look at this like a Long Island iced tea. You got to put this in and that in and that in and this and this and that in. Then it's toxic to you, like you want it to be, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always got a big kick out every time we had a Christmas party at the clinic, and you get drink tickets. I'll have a Long Island iced tea and make it tall. It's always funny. and then they stumble out. And you always worry about them getting home because I'm responsible for them doing this. And that's always the problem with it. He had a couple teetotalers in the group, and they gave the tickets to the Long Island iced tea guy, and away they went. And yeah. Anyway, so what we're talking about is Long Island iced tea, putting a lot of stuff together, making something good out of it. So I think what he's doing with it so far, he's all right. Let's keep going.
Found in olive oil can really help on arthritic dogs. 1 teaspoon per 20 pounds daily. Your aging dog with cataracts. The 2 most important nutrients for eye health are lutein and zeaxanthin. They're found in the highest levels in kale, but also really high in eggs. Just ensure that you're giving the egg yolk. That's where the lutein and zeaxanthin is. For your dog.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And people take this stuff for eye conditions. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, yes.
All right, next one.
If you have some hearing loss, you should be considering a banana. Bananas, they're the highest food source of potassium. Give your 20-pound dog about a quarter of a banana daily.
Yeah, I don't know how potassium is going to bring your dog's hearing back. If you were in the band Metallica, you're probably deaf at this point, and there's nothing you can't.
A banana a day won't keep them from.
You can't eat enough bananas if you're Metallica to get your hearing back. So
okay,
I'd say that's the thing. And if you had over and over ear infections or something like that, and the ear was PO'd half its life or 3/4 of its life or all its life, yeah, you could have a problem. Your tympanic membrane's been ruptured a few times. Hell yes, you are deaf, and reincarnation will fix it. That's the only thing that I know will fix it. So
there.
Great source of the omega-3 fatty acids and animal protein, sardines. 1 sardine per 20 pounds of body weight daily. A great idea for your dog. And if you like tips like
omega-3
these, I encourage you to get a copy of my free book. Links in the bio.
So where's the guy making his money? A free book. He's giving us free information. Now he's giving us a free book. Where's he making his dough here?
I don't know.
$25 for shipping and handling.
There you go.
Yep.
He's just giving us a smidgen of information from his book.
It's all right. I mean, he was all right.
Yeah, I mean, he seems very popular. It's Andrew Jones, DVM, Veterinary Secrets. That's his book.
Oh, all veterinarians have secrets. Some of them I don't want your mother to know about, but anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a secret.
It's a secret.
And it's not a Christmas present.
Oh my God. You want to hear this next one?
Sure.
Also a veterinarian. It's titled 5 Things I Will Never Do with My Dog as an ER Veterinarian.
These are 5 things I would never do with Charlie as an ER veterinarian. Number 1, we're not going to any dog parks. Can he catch a tennis ball? Maybe. But you know what he can catch there? Parvovirus, Giardia, these hands from another
These hands.
Dog. Way too many bite wounds that I'm healing or stitching up in the hospital for me to take my chances there.
Correct. So he's correct about that. Intestinal parasites are a big thing that occurs in those places. Although now if you have your dog on something like moxidectin, which is one of the components of most of the heartworm preventatives now, you don't get intestinal parasites. So you don't get it as much as it used to be. It used to be, we used to go out behind the clinic and there was a place we called Fecal Field. That's where all the dogs went out and went to the bathroom. So we did a fecal test one time about, taking stool samples and then looking at them through centrifuging those stool samples in sugar or just putting them in a little cup with a glass slide on the top. Oh my gosh, the centrifuge beat the hell out of those little cups and stuff.
Yeah.
It was in one of the DVM magazines. Anyway, yeah, you got to do it the right way. Now they have antigen tests for it, but he's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, when you go out there, your dog's stepping in all this, whatever he's stepping in. And once you get whipworms at one of these places, they have to have the only way you're going to clean that place is get a bulldozer and take about 6 inches of soil off. And then you'll do it again 2 years later.
Ew.
But yeah, we're not going to do that.
Are you ready for the next
one?
Yeah,
and I'm not anti-dog park. I think a lot of people have good times there. And if they're well policed and stuff like that, they're fine.
Yeah.
But he's right. There's some stuff that happens that people are like, if I'd have known that was going to happen, I would have never gone there.
Right.
There you go.
Number 2 are bones and ballistics. Either foreign body or a fractured tooth. Either way, I don't want to do emergency surgery on my dog. Number 3.
That's true. You see some slab fractures on dogs that go crazy on stuff. And it seems that it occurs more in dogs where there's a group of them. Like if you had 3 dogs and you gave everybody a bone, And the dog's like, son of a bitch, I'm going to eat this whole thing before Woody gets it or before Toby gets it or, something like that.
Right.
So now they're going at like the fate of the free world depends on their ability to consume something that the owner's given to them. Do they chew too hard? Hell yes. I mean, it's like we went to a movie theater and I'm pretty careful about how vigorously I chew the popcorn because some of that crap doesn't pop and then I got to have a new crown put on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so now I like I'm in assisted care and just carefully.
I feel like I'm a bad dog mom listening to this guy because I take my dogs to dog parks. I give my dogs bully bones and stuff. And then this next one I'm definitely guilty of. Ready?
Let's hear it.
Is walking without a leash. All it takes is one squirrel, one tennis ball. Now he's in the middle of the streets of Oakland and he got hit by a car, or as we call it in the hospital, an HPC, or as my wife likes to call it, a Harrison Barnes crisis. Number 4,
what do you call it?
I don't know. A Henderson Park crisis? I don't know.
An HPC, or as my wife likes to call it,
Harrison Barnes crisis.
Okay. Very good. Well, he's true about that. You should have him on a leash.
I know. I never put my dogs on a leash.
So in this way we kind of go through life, it's like, geez, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have done that. Gee, if I'd have known this, I would have.
But my dogs. They're Jader goes on a leash.
I know.
Jader,
because
she does not listen.
She hadn't had enough smart pills. And
can I get some smart pills from the clinic?
Yeah, the ones I have are like suppositories. You'll have a good time giving her those. But anyway, I'm just joking. Anyway, yes, I think you have to be careful. You got to wonder what could happen that's bad. In fact, like with a little dog like yours, if you got him on a leash and a big dog comes up to you, you just pull him up off the ground, and they can't get away from you and have that dog catch him. They make a lot of the snot out of you trying to get at your little dog, but at least there's enough time for that. And you see every once in a while you watch the People's Court and they have the stupidest people on there, and sometimes, most of the time, and it's involving those sorts of things. So this dog came out. Whose yard was it in? Well, it was in their yard, but my dog ran over there. It's like, well, this is your deal, not their deal, and you just have to think about what in the hell could go wrong here. I used to see a little bit dogs that like to ride in the back of a pickup truck and stand up on the thing and look out, watch the bugs hit their eyeballs. And, and then all of a sudden they go around the corner and the dog goes out and breaks a leg. It happens all the time. So just don't do stuff. Don't do stupid stuff. Anticipate what could happen that would be bad here.
I agree. You ready for the next one?
A Harrison Barnes crisis. Number 4, stopping any of his long-term medications, preventatives, or vaccines. It's way easier to prevent disease than it is to treat it. Number 5 is free feeding. As much as he would love to eat everything all day, every day, I like to control how much he eats and keep him on a consistent schedule. And also it allows me to see if he has a decrease in appetite, which can be a huge marker for underlying disease.
These are 100% right on that stuff. We got these dogs that, they come in and they're like 30 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight. And the clients will be like, well, he doesn't eat much. Of course he eats a lot. Yeah, you don't get big like that. It's not like somebody took him down to the gas station, filled him up. No, he's just eating too much. Well, he only has 1 cup a day. Okay, he only has 1 cup a day and he weighs 122 pounds. That's just complete, utter BS. And then what else does he get? Well, my parents are living with us. Oh, your parents, how old are they? 82, 85. And they're feeding that dog. They don't have everything to nurture, so they're going to try to kill that dog if they can, which they do. And so
sounds like your wife.
Yeah, so the dogs. So you have to you keep the weight off, and that's probably one of the most important things a veterinarian does is keep what he's saying. Keep them
the weight
thin.
off.
Yeah, you keep them thin. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of dogs in my life. I've never seen one with a DoorDash card or a debit card or a McDonald's gift card. I've never seen any of them with any of that stuff. So this all happens because people are not disciplined. I'll tell you a little story. One time, today's 3 days after Thanksgiving, but I used to have 2 clients that came in every day or every day after Thanksgiving. They came every Friday after Thanksgiving. They were from Chicago, so they come in with their dog. And finally they came in one year and they said, we're having problems with our dog and it's limping and it's got arthritis and everything. And they've got him on this and they got him on that. And they showed me everything he was on. And the guy, whoever the guy or girl was at that veterinary clinic in Chicago was doing a damn good job. And I looked at everything and I looked at the dog and I did my physical and everything. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I said, I think your veterinarian in Chicago is doing a damn good job. And you know me, I'm honest enough to tell you if I didn't think he was doing a damn good job, but I think he or she's doing a damn good job. I said, well, I will tell you what. I said, they talked to you about this dog's weight? Nope, not at all. And I said, well, this dog probably needs to lose 15 pounds. And you're all out of options. This losing the weight thing is it. Okay? And they said, okay. And then they drove back to Chicago. And they came back the following year and they told me how pissed they were when they got halfway to Chicago because they said, always enjoyed seeing this guy. Now he's giving us, making us feel guilty about our dog being too fat. And we don't think that would make any difference in the dog's life at all. And the further they drove, the more they thought, well, maybe we ought to just do this and see what happens. So then they did that. They took a year to get 15 pounds off their dog. They came back and they were proudly said, our dog doesn't hardly limp at all anymore. It's as best he's been in 2 years. And it's because we got the weight off. And I said, well, I kind of told you, I'm glad that worked. And they said, then they repeated the story to me. We got down by
probably Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, Benton Harbor or something like that. And they said, we were pissed that we spent a lot of good money with you just to be told our dog was fat. I have other words for
corpulent.
Yeah, corpulent. That's my new word for fat. It's my old word for fat. Only thing is people got a phone now, so they can look it up on the phone. He called our dog corpulent. So they look up what corpulent means. I go back in the room, they're pissed. Anyway, used to be they got home and then looked it up and then they were pissed. But nobody uses a dictionary or encyclopedias anymore to kind of look all that stuff up.
Got a computer in our hands.
No, that's right. That's correct. So, yes, this guy's exactly right on this.
Right.
So we've had 4 people now. 2 veterinarians are pretty spot on and 2 people, lay people, and probably not as spot on as the veterinarians are.
Right. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
This next one's about
5 things I would.
Sorry. This next one is about dogs eating their own poop.
If your dog eats poop, grass, or dirt, give them one of these 3 things. So the first thing is pineapple. Pineapple contains papain, and papain is a digestive enzyme that helps settle their stomach, and it's often already in poop. That's why they're eating it. The second thing...
I don't know about that.
Pineapple?
But pineapple might be a good thing to use. It's got a little bromelain in it, I think, and it's sometimes what we use. Sometimes we use pineapple for a dog that has a seroma, where they've had they get banged into or something like that, and they got a seroma build up. So you put it gets big and doesn't go down very well. You use the pineapple on that, but yeah, probably pineapple's fine.
Ready for the second one?
Sure.
Is probiotics. Probiotics help calm their digestive system and feed their gut with good bacteria to push out any bad bacteria. Last thing is...
Yeah, it's not a lot of...
It was showing yogurt, just so you know.
Yeah, was it showing yogurt?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
What's another probiotic that you can get?
Well, you make commercial probiotics.
Oh, like a pill?
Yeah. Purina makes some.
It can.
Iams used to make some.
Because the yogurt can cause skin and ear allergies.
Everybody makes a probiotic now. In fact, that's the big thing right now when your dog gets diarrhea. In fact, this is a real point of contention with me. Well, if we can sell you $50 worth of probiotics, and there's all sorts of probiotics, some for behavioral things, anxieties, things like that, but then some for GI stuff.
Right.
Now, the question is, does it work? Yes, sometimes it works. I'll tell you what's a little more popular. If you've had a dog with chronic diarrhea and you've tried everything, they do fecal transplants. We talked a little bit about that, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Where you take a healthy stool or a stool from a healthy dog in the household and and you mix it up.
We actually just posted a video about the fecal transplants on TikTok, and this girl commented and was like, "What's a fecal transplant?" I commented back. I was like, "You don't want to know."
They don't want to know, but it's where you then you run it through a cheesecloth or some gauze or something like that, and then take a feeding tube and stick it up in the dog's rear end. Okay. But and that actually probably is fairly effective sometimes.
Yeah, you said it takes parvo dogs like half the time to recover.
Right, and fecal transplantation will probably become a bigger thing when it becomes almost socially accepted that that's the way to do it. And they do it with people too. I don't know if you do that. But the probiotics, and now they want to have them be on a biome diet and probiotics, and in 8 days your dog won't have diarrhea anymore. Listen. You just got some of these dogs in your house that's got diarrhea 8 or 9 bowel movements a day.
Right.
And we're going to get a $100 bag of food and $50 worth of probiotics. They're really death on metronidazole, which is the drug of choice that we've mostly used.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of those times I'm not going to go with the crowd. I'm going to stay with the metronidazole. You don't put them on metronidazole for 21 days or anything. You just put them on for a few days.
Right.
And let the dog readjust himself. Yeah.
That makes
and if
sense.
you want to get some probiotics and throw it on top of the current dog food you're feeding, then you can repopulate the dog's bowel with that stuff.
Yeah.
But not yogurt.
Do you want to hear the next one?
Sure.
Steamed or boiled spinach. Spinach contains powerful
boiled spinach.
B vitamins, which actually reduce the cravings and allow your dog not to eat things like poop, dirt, or waste. If your dog eats poop.
Okay, so here's the deal. Dogs that eat dirt, if they've eaten dirt their whole life, they just need more smart pills, and probably a lot of them. But if they've never eaten dirt and all of a sudden they're eating dirt, they have something going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that probably there's an overrepresentation of GI lymphoma, things like that. So when they're doing that, when Ivy went through her thing, she went out and ate a whole bunch of grass and dirt and stuff like that.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen that pretty much my whole life. And if they do it all the time, it's just a really bad habit. But if they just started it, you better look further.
Right. You ready for the next one?
Sure.
Okay, so this one, the first of all, you should know the creator
Spinach, by the way.
Spinach.
Should I hum the I'm Popeye the Sailor Man?
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, your muscles. You forgot about
I remember. It gives your dog's muscles.
Yeah, tell them about Popeye.
I can get on here and just say some random shit and be like, dogs would love this. This is good.
I worked in a holistic veterinarian's office, so here are a few things that you can do to keep your dog.
Okay, so I'm going to start this with creator earns commission at the bottom. So she's earning commission from whatever she's promoting here. Okay. But it says every dog owner should know these.
Is she cute?
Yeah.
Dog living a longer and happier life. Adding plain yogurt into your dog's diet gives them tons of probiotics and helps balance their gut bacteria so that they stop.
What is she's given?
Yogurt.
Oh, yeah. No, I think there's too many dogs that are
have allergies.
Lactose intolerant.
Ready?
Yeah.
Stop farting so much. Anxiety can shorten dogs' lives up to 7 years, but bananas lower cortisol and stress in overly anxious dogs. Joint pain is inevitable for 80% of older dogs.
So now it's good for this. Before it was good for their hearing, right?
Yeah.
Bananas, now what's it good for?
Let's rewind.
But bananas lower cortisol and stress in overly anxious dogs.
I don't know that there's any... I don't know if there's any peer-reviewed data to support that. Yeah,
I've never eaten a banana and thought, "Damn, I'm so calm now."
Yeah, that's the thing. So most of this is not peer-reviewed, and you really need to have some numbers. And of course, nobody has the patent on bananas, so it's not like, oh, the guy who has a patent on bananas is going to tell us what it does.
Right.
Go ahead.
Pain is inevitable for 80% of older dogs, but without bone broth, it comes 4 years earlier. Organic foods should be the norm. So
So she's got numbers, 7 years and 4 years. So that would indicate that she has an awful lot but she's not citing her references.
No.
So I would probably I'd probably be in the clear to call bullshit on this.
The first comment on here is she's trying to sell something. She's going to throw whatever she can to come up to convince people to buy it. She says she worked in a holistic vet office. Is she a vet? No.
And apparently she doesn't work there anymore.
And then this next comment says, stop farting so much. Girl, yogurt makes my dogs fart. What do you mean?
That's right. So that's an adverse food reaction. And with milk, you'll get adverse food reactions sometimes. And with beef and with wheat. You can get an adverse food reaction from eating the anchovies. Not likely.
Yeah.
Not likely because it has the omega-3s in there. But yeah, you can have that. You can have that.
Ready?
Yep.
Ultra-processed kibble that's filled with toxins and chemicals raises their chance of getting stomach or liver diseases by 4 times. As a pet owner myself,
I don't think so.
I know that getting your dog an organic diet is really just not affordable, and most people can't provide a diet like that for their pet. So that's why I got so excited when one of the vets in the office told me about this Everyday One dog multivitamin. It has 45 ingredients that are essential to our dog's long-term health with 6 different benefits. It's so easy. You just pour it over your dog's food. I mix it with a little bit of water to get some extra hydration, and then they just eat it. They absolutely love the taste because of the pumpkin and bacon flavor. Like, my dog licks the bowl clean every single time. Pumpkin. So if you want to try out this supplement, it's
5 things you should never give your dog from a vet with 32 years of experience. Scooting across the floor after every walk. That's not just funny. It's often a sign of worms.
Food allergies.
Skip the harsh meds. Grind up raw pumpkin seeds and mix them into their food. It
can be anal glands. I mean, you could have infected, or it's possible to have infected anal glands. So, but ears and rears, we talked about this before. And so if you have a dog with bad ears, he may be dragging his butt around because it's a mucocutaneous junction, just like the ears. And really what happens is, we were just talking about that. I think that girl was going to have her dog's anal glands out. She figured out what her dog was allergic to, and she didn't have to have the anal glands out. She's going to spend $600, $700, $800 having the anal glands out, and poor dog's going to have a raw butt. And the only problem with him is he's eating yogurt like the other person told him he should.
Right.
Yeah, and so he's allergic to the yogurt.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Harsh meds. Grind up raw pumpkin seeds and mix them into their food. They contain cucurbitacin, a natural compound that paralyzes worms and helps flush them out safely.
No.
Crush up pumpkin seeds, guys.
You know, if you're doing something good, I mean, if you're doing it right, they make this drug now called Credelio Quattro. And
what do you mean? I could just go down to the gas station and get pumpkin seeds.
Well, that gets all the intestinal parasites plus tapeworms.
They have dill pumpkin seeds now. Dill flavored pumpkins. No, just kidding. Obviously. All right, ready for this next one?
And you're not even a drinker. Anyway, keep going.
Bad breath or tartar buildup.
Breath or tartar buildup. Most dogs over 3 already show signs of dental disease. Mash up a fresh strawberry and rub it on their teeth once a week. The natural enzymes help break down plaque and freshen breath without needing expensive dental cleaning.
You know how many Rottweilers want to have you smush
strawberries
on there?
Strawberries
on there. Yeah, they make if you got a dog who'll allow you to brush your teeth, just use a veterinary toothpaste and a brush. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Or brushing battles, red itchy paws. Most vets prescribe medicated creams that only mask the issue. Try diluted apple cider vinegar instead. It kills yeast, balances skin pH, and clears up flare-ups without chemicals.
Bingo. Now that does work.
Okay.
They're putting vinegar and
water. So she's right on one.
White vinegar and water, half and half.
Apple cider vinegar?
No, white vinegar.
She said apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, well, she's
half, right?
Well, no, I think that I think if you looked at, if I said something to you along the lines of, white vinegar or, apple vinegar, I think most people think, well, the apple vinegar must be healthier than the white vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's acetic acid. It's what it is, and it changes the pH and doesn't allow the yeast to live there. Yeah, it does a damn good job, but you have to have contact for a bit of time, not just and wash it off. You have to leave it on for a bit. Same thing with cleaning ears. A lot of times those ear cleaners have boric acid and acetic acid and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You ready?
And if the ear's raw, dog is not particularly happy about having vinegar put in their ears. It's an acid. Yep.
Pain or stiffness, you don't need synthetic supplements or risky medication. Start with bone broth. It's packed with nutrients that support joints, skin, and gut health. It's easy to make, and most dogs go crazy for it. Comment broth, and I'll send you the simple recipe I use for my own dogs. For daily support, especially as they age, I always recommend adding collagen too. Dogs lose it quickly as they get older, leading to stiff joints, itchy skin, shedding, and slow recovery. The one I trust is Taily Collagen. It's 100% natural, made without fillers, and mixes easily into any meal.
I've not had any experience with that, but if you got a dog's arthritic, give them arthritis drugs. There is one thing you can give them that's holistic, and there's a drug called Adequan that's made out of bovine tracheal cartilage. That does work. That works pretty good. That works pretty damn good. But it's like it's part of the Long Island iced tea thing. Okay. So you put them on gabapentin, carprofen, Previcox, whatever you want to put them on, and Adequan. Use all 3 of them together. If the dog's just a little bit arthritic, you use the Adequan. If it's really stiff, you got to show up with real stuff to fix it.
Yeah. So that was the last TikTok that I had. But
I sound like a curmudgeon in this whole thing, but there's a lot of bullshit going on.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people that get on there and they think that they know what they're talking about, and they make these very crazy statements.
Yeah, and I really can't tell by listening to these how many people actually. I think there's a time in your life where you say something, it comes out of your mouth, and you're pretty sure it's going to end up being the truth. And then the older you get, the more you understand that some of the stuff you thought you knew was probably incorrect.
Right.
And that's what they have to do on these things. And if they really think everything they did was correct here, then good for them. I just don't see it that way.
Correct. Well, I'm glad that we were able to myth bust through some of those videos, and now I have a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, I see this stuff all the time. I do have an Instagram account, so I get in there.
I started you on Instagram.
I know. So I put that in there. I know what I get. I get scenes from World War II aircraft.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So my father.
Your algorithm.
My dad was in a bomber group in the Pacific in World War II. So I like to look at all that stuff. And then of course, as being a veterinarian, I must be hitting stuff that makes it pretty obvious I'm a veterinarian, because now they get all this stuff. When you put this in your dog's ears, this is the way you clear everything up. Well, there's two ways to look at ears, and I'll tell you this before we leave: is that you can treat the ears, but the art form is preventing it from happening again.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't with a yogurt, and it isn't with roast beef sandwiches, especially wheat buns and beef. So those are things dogs don't tolerate very well.
Right.
And I'm 100% certain on this. And you learn this over the course of years. And hey, can I tell you about one thing I had yesterday? I had one case came in, and it was a 10-year-old dog, and it was really itchy. I mean, really itchy. And you just looked at it and it wanted to itch.
Oh.
And I'm like,
so uncomfortable.
And I'm like, and it's the first time I ever seen this client. Somebody sent him in, and I said, well, how long has this been going on? She says, for a year. I said, just 1 year? I mean, the dog's whole life. She says, no, this dog never had anything wrong its whole life. And all of a sudden, like a year ago, it got itchy, and it was licking its feet and licking its abdomen, and all you have to do is just scratch it. So I went up and I scratched the edge of the ear and just went, back and forth like that with my thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog's back leg went, it was itching his back leg.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, I know what this is. I said, anybody out in the house got anything else going on too? She says, yeah, my daughter's been getting bit by something. We don't know what it is. And this woman was a little older. And I said, I can tell you why it's your daughter, because you're not really on the leathery side, but I think where these scabies mites are concerned, you probably are. So that's what this dog had, scabies. We didn't actually find the mites, but we put topical Brevecto on, and gave an injection of steroids. And so this dog's loaded, and I mean loaded, with scabies mites. And so
gross.
So they're all dead today. All the mites are dead today, and you think the dog would be fine, but it's not fine, because it makes tunnels. And guess what it does in tunnels? There's a lot of metabolites, saliva, feces, all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the body comes in and tries to eat all that up, and there's a terrific allergic reaction that occurs when they're trying to eat that up.
That's wild.
That make them up to 3 weeks to go back to normal. And then there's all these eggs in there, and they'll hatch, but the Brevecto will kill the eggs when they take a bite.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and she had told me she'd had him on Capstar, where she gave Capstar every couple of weeks, and she thought maybe the dog's a little better. It's possible that she killed a few adult mites when she did that, but not enough to get her in the clear, and Capstar only works for 24 hours. I have no idea, absolutely no idea why anybody uses Capstar. It's like, driving a Conestoga wagon to Florida this winter.
It's not reliable.
No, it's stupid. Yeah. So Capstar, they keep selling this stuff because I think they can put it in pet stores and you can sell it without a prescription. So
dang.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money, guys.
Yeah, European into a stiff win with that one, I'm afraid.
Well, dang. Well, that was a productive podcast today. We're almost at 50 minutes.
Yeah, good.
Are you ready to wrap things up?
I got everything I wanted to, peeing into a stiff win.
That's right.
This person's full of crap. That person's full of crap. This person isn't full of crap. It might be literally full of crap and not figuratively full of crap. So
we'll keep myth busting.
Did I artfully pick out everybody who was what they were?
You did.
And this isn't meant to be anything personal to anybody. This is just, I've worked long enough to, and I get to deal with these clients that come in after they've tried all these homemade things. You in a 20-minute appointment or 25-minute appointment, you don't find out all the stuff they've tried until you get to the 19th minute because they're afraid to tell you what they did. And then once they have a little confidence in you that you're not blowing smoke up there, then they'll tell you what's going on.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we will continue doing some Mythbuster stuff. Yeah. If you guys have any videos that you're curious about, please send them to us on Instagram or TikTok or whatever on Voyager Dog Food Co. And we would love to mythbust them and say if they're real or not.
Sure.
So with that, let's get some outro music going. We sure appreciate you guys listening along with us today.
Is this Led Zeppelin?
No, this is not Led Zeppelin. Okay, this is some royalty-free music.
Foreigner?
No.
Okay.
We hope that you guys have been able to listen along with us today, and we've been able to share some information that will help you love your animal.
Dick Slick and his White Wall Band?
As much as they love you. Don't forget, always treat the treatable.
And prevent the preventable.
And we will catch you on the next one. Maybe with Led Zeppelin.
Or Dick Slick and his White Wall Band.
Or Blue Oyster.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Blue Oyster Cult, that's right.
Yep.
Or Stevie Nicks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.